host, Mr. Mannheim.
Who are you?
Your new lord and master. You may call me Darkseid.
All right, that was sick. We're continuing on with Supermanuary. And in this episode, Superman will be begging for change like I'm going to be begging for likes and subs. I'm Mike. This is Darkseid's Couch.
This is James.
I'm Shée.
You had mentioned just 5 minutes ago that you hadn't had anything to smoke today. And then you had the most high, stumbly intro that we've had in a while, which I love and I condone.
So the cover, it was this Action Comics number what?
337.
When the wheel landed on this, James was worried that it would be too much like the last comic we just did.
I wasn't worried about it. I was just noting that it was interesting because according to the cover, there are two Supermans again.
Mm-hmm. And this comic was as batshit as the last one.
It's pretty out there. I definitely got infuriated by this one. Mm-hmm. We are continuing Supermanuary. This is the second week of Supermanuary, which is not a feminine hygiene product. It's a month of Superman comic books.
What would that be used for?
Look, listen, I don't concern myself with what's going on over there. Shée, what's Supermanuary for?
Yeah, what are you washing out?
Does it have something to do with yeast? I always hear about yeast, and I don't understand, but I'm very concerned about it.
You did tell me you were cooking more bread. Or baking.
I again don't think that when it comes to a woman's thing, usually they insert man.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, you guys pretty much got menstruation, and that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I understand.
Oh, and menopause. You got shitty stuff. So whatever
wow,
Supermanuary is, first off, it's going to be pronounced Supermanuary.
Or ma'am, like mammery.
And yeah, it's going to suck.
Wow. Yeah, you don't want to go through Supermanuary too early or too late. Mm-hmm. You don't want to go through it at all. That was Donovan's Sunshine Superman that opened the episode there. We've been opening them with Superman songs. Unless YouTube threatened to restrict access to this episode because that song was in it, in which case it's been replaced with something else. You heard something else.
That's
Maybe
what made me
backwards.
stumble. I heard that song and I forgot what I was going to say.
I forgot it was a
threw me
Superman
off,
song.
yeah.
It mentions Superman and Green Lantern in that song.
No, I just wasn't expecting a song.
Oh, there are
Always
songs. Believe you me, buddy.
Expect songs.
No, always expect songs in Supermanuary. Yeah, I've learned that the YouTube will just completely decide with its crazy black arts voodoo what can or cannot be put out there. So I guess just going forward, if anybody is listening on YouTube and they just hear something that we're discussing something and the audio doesn't match it, it's because I just dumped something else in there just to get around YouTube's algorithms.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the YouTube algorithm just doing its job.
It's just doing its job.
Right.
It's Nuremberg defense.
It's given a set of instructions and it's going about it.
Yep, it does. It's not asking questions about it. It doesn't. It does not. It's not weighing in politically.
Nope, I can't blame that. I'd be like blaming the hammer for the carpentry.
Yeah.
You can't blame
But
the
speaking
algorithm.
of weighing in politically, this comic does.
This is Action Comics number 337 from 1966. It's a book called, the first one anyway, it's called From Riches to Rags, written by Leo Dorfman, art by Al Plastino, and we got this great Kurt Swan cover again.
Dorfman, wasn't that that videotape series
it's
commercials
Leo Dorfman
that you
on
would
golf.
see? Yeah.
Oh, Dorf? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never
Tim
seen
Conway?
those.
Tim Conway?
Were
Me
those
neither.
funny? Were they actually good?
I think they were funny of its time kind of thing.
Oh, so a lot of racist jokes.
No, I mean like silly, like how Ernest was funny of its time.
It was Tim
yeah.
Well, Ernest, that's timeless right there.
Know what am I?
No, it was about him being very short.
Yeah, it was about him being a small person.
He was short and he would just fall over. Like
And-
something would happen, mundane, and he would fall over it.
And it was Tim Conway.
Yes.
Yeah.
On his knees.
So it was Tim Conway on his knees, and he would like show you how to golf. I thought they were like jokey instructional videos. The cast of Dwarf on Golf includes Dwarf, a character named Leonard, and a woman named Boom Boom.
Yeah, boom, 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 boom. Dwarf on boom, boom.
If he's lucky. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. He's on his knees. He's pretending to play golf.
Where he belongs.
And then he's wearing a sombrero in this one.
Uh-huh.
And you can
No,
clearly
that looks
see.
to be somebody
Yeah, it's just somebody else.
impersonating.
Yeah, because you can clearly see the legs behind him. It doesn't even work.
I was just like, yeah, it didn't even work.
Couldn't even move the camera. Move the camera over a little bit. Don't want to see your legs. That's the whole joke.
All right.
Assholes.
They even put it in the commercial when they just leave that part in.
It's the bloopers. The bloopers are when you could see his feet.
Yeah, it's like, shit. They could see my feet.
You know, if that was Daniel Day-Lewis or something, he'd have them take off the bottom half of his legs. He'd actually have it done.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix, we're going to bring Dorf back, and he's going to actually have the amputation.
Yeah. No, he's not.
Yeah, there's nothing too far for that man.
That's a work.
Starving himself.
Yeah, I think all that's a work.
Eating
All
nothing
those,
but lettuce.
All those super actors. They just want us to think they're super actors.
Do you mean Method?
On. Yeah, Method.
Joaquin Phoenix got pretty fucking tiny for a Joker movie.
Nah, that ain't real.
All right.
I don't believe it. It's AI. There's no Joaquin Phoenix.
There is no such. Her was actually about Joaquin Phoenix. That was actually an autobiographical movie about Joaquin Phoenix.
I'm more impressed at the CG in the 80s movie Parenthood now.
Parenthood had CG.
Is that what
in it?
it's called?
I don't know.
Because Joaquin Phoenix was in it. So very clearly it had CG in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go back to the 80s. I'm a kid of the early 2000s. That's when I was born, 2004.
You know, I knew that about you.
Yeah. I'm just a youngin'. I'm a young gun. I got my whole life ahead of me. I'm not turning 40. So, it's having no psychological bearing on me whatsoever. I'm doing fine.
Dude,
Everything's great.
Everything's great.
I'm with you.
Every age is great. Every comic book is great.
I'll be like
Especially this one.
every band is good. Every age is great.
Every age is great. Every year is better than the last. I'm not having night terrors.
But the ones previously were great too.
Yeah. It's hard to believe they could have gotten better, but they did. They kept getting better.
Well, last year for your birthday, we all went bowling.
Yeah. We did. We saw each other for the first time. Well, the three of us, anyway. Saw each other first time since the beginning of the pandemic. I've completely forgotten about it.
Yeah, the pandemic. What's even that?
Yeah, I've forgotten the pandemic. I've forgotten the bowling. I've forgotten when my birthday actually even is.
I don't remember mine either.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess.
I know my own birthday. I can confirm that I am the smartest one here, and I know my own birthday.
Shea bragging.
Shea bragging sounds like a word for something.
It does.
This cover, I love this cover. It's my favorite part of the book. It's split down the middle, but it's actually not split down the middle. One side is actually favored. It's quite a bit bigger than the other. So on the left side, we've got Superman in a top hat and a cane, getting out of a limo with his crest on the side to punch a man in the face while his chauffeur looks on approvingly.
Yeah, and the gun goes off.
Yeah, the gun does go off. It looks like it bounces off Superman's chest, though. The bullet
Yeah, it looks
bounces.
like it's about to hit that man in the head, though.
And it's just going to get right back. Yeah, it's just going to ricochet back on the guy.
Oh my God! Yeah, it is. Superman
that's
punches
hilarious.
him. Maybe that's
Yeah.
why Superman punched him to move his head out of the way.
He knows he'll get away with it, though, because right now he's dressed as a rich man.
Yeah, he's a rich man, so it'll be fine.
Actually, if you look down at the bottom on the grill of the car, you see an R and an R. That's a Rolls Royce. Oh. He's doing fine. That guy's doing fine.
Look at his chauffeur is so unafraid.
He loves his
Maybe
job
it's
so
Richie
much.
Rich. Maybe that's what it stands for.
Oh.
Maybe he borrowed the car from Richie Rich.
I love how Superman's costume in his mind is better than any tuxedo he could
Yes.
get.
He's still be clear here. He's still wearing his normal Superman costume, but he's added a cane and top hat.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's because in his mind he's like, this is how a millionaire dresses.
Yes. And then
But likewise, as a poor man, it's just his same exact outfit, but now he's wearing a couple pairs of socks and one has a hole in it.
Right.
Yeah, he's hanging out. He's sitting on a soapbox, and behind him is a shack that says "Private Superman's Shack."
His personal shack. Don't go in there. And he's cooking up some
There's
vittles.
just porn on all the walls.
You know, we live in Chicago. We see a lot of homeless people. I've never once seen anybody in the corner cooking up vittles.
Or
I never see
building
it.
a wooden shack.
Yeah, I never see anybody's wooden shack. It says
Lumber
stay out.
is so expensive right now. I don't know how they could.
That's the main problem. Biden jacked up the cost of the lumber.
He did it personally.
He did it personally. He didn't want these hobos to have their private shacks.
Well, he has the secret fuck trees agenda. So
As he
fuck
did that,
trees.
he was wearing a top hat and had a cane, and he was dressed as
Yes.
Superman.
So I was of the impression that this was going to be a story where Superman split himself in two, or maybe he alternated between rich Superman and poor Superman. I was very excited to see what we have. That's not what it is at all. It's way dumber. Way dumber.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Imagine that. We had a comic book with, what would you call that? Misinformation?
on the cover, yeah.
Misleading. That's the word I want to use.
It's a very misleading title for the story, but I thought I had adjusted my Silver Age perceptions appropriately, and I understood what we were getting into, and it was completely off.
You know, because of like all the crazy Batman stuff and these Superman comics, because we haven't done Superman for a whole year. That's why we're doing Supermanuary.
Yeah.
And I really love these insane stories that are just all like Superman, like just goes to a guy, like Batman just goes to a guy's house and just takes his dog, and they go on an adventure.
Well, he asked, but he took him.
a dog.
Not that anyone's going to tell Batman no, so he did kind of just take him. Like, nobody's going to say, like, no, Batman, you can't have my dog. You have to.
He didn't even call ahead of time. He went and found the guy walking
right
his
to
dog.
his house. No time to lose.
It's like, I need your dog.
I got to have that dog.
Yeah, so like in Superman right now, so here on this splash page of the beginning, the people of Metropolis are going to Superman's shack to openly mock him.
They're begging him not to pose as a hobo because it's shaming the city.
Right. And Superman says, buddy, can you spare a dime? And it has a sign with
he has a sign
around his neck that says help the needy. And he's got like holes in his boots and he's surrounded by garbage.
So naturally, three men in fedoras are upset about how it'll look for the city. Not that Superman has fallen on hard times at all.
Yeah, hey, buddy.
Three white guys in fedoras with pocket squares have a real problem with this.
Yeah, they show up to tell Superman to get a job.
That's what it appears to be.
Yeah, apparently being Superman was not enough of a job for these guys.
What really offends them is that because Superman can float, he can literally pull himself up from his own bootstraps.
Yes, his own indestructible bootstraps that somehow also have holes in them.
So Superman has no
Well, that is
excuses
explained.
Yeah, that's actually a plot point. It's actually somebody. Well, we'll get to that point, but it's interesting to me how concerned people were with his boots.
Yes.
So this opens up, and we've got the Tiger Gang, which is a bunch of people that dress up like tigers for some reason to rob banks. Well, they're doing exactly that. They're robbing a country club.
Yeah, that's right, because they're the most awesome group of criminals of all time. They decided to help them buy drugs, that they were going to dress up in, like, looks like children's, like, tiger striped pajamas.
Yeah.
And they go to a country club to rob the rich people.
And one of them is a little too chubby to be wearing this suit.
Like, I feel like a coward for not doing this in real life.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what tigers have to do with mocking the rich. So
because it's fun.
Yeah, tigers are
Well,
pretty
it says
cool.
they're the infamous Tiger Gang. So this is their thing.
Well, yeah, but they could have called themselves anything. They could have called
they
them
could have.
Crocodile Gang or whatever, you know. They chose tigers.
Yeah.
The Crocodile Gang would be like something Don Knotts would be in.
Yes. Like a lounge act?
You know, no, I mean like an old timey gang.
Well, that's because isn't he in that movie about the Apple Bottom Boys or whatever it's called?
Wow. The Apple Bottom Boys?
The Apple Dumpling Gang. That's
Dumpling.
what it is.
Wait, isn't Tim Conway in that too?
I think so. I think we brought it full circle.
Wow, this is a very Tim Conway centric. This might be the most Tim Conway content we've had in any episode.
Yeah, I'm ashamed that we haven't talked about him before.
Well, we're transitioning over to a Tim Conway based podcast.
Okay.
So Superman shows up in his limo unexplained how he got this limo, but he's got his top hat and his cane, and he's also wearing a single white glove, Michael Jackson style.
I love how he lunges out of the vehicle with his arms stretched out in front of him.
He's ready to go.
And he's like mid-thought.
I'm going to take care of this. Don't you worry. And he's hired. By the way, he's hired a chauffeur.
The chauffeur's name is Jenkins. Oh my God.
He hired this guy, secured a limo, got his top hat, a cane, and a couple of gloves. He eventually puts on the second glove. So he shows up and he says, I'll take care of this. And he spins his super cane really quickly. And he uses it to knock the Tiger Gang's getaway car into a pool. And then he
causes so much damage. He destroys this pool.
Yeah.
And then he immediately takes off the hat, cane, and gloves and has Jenkins hold them. So he really was just putting those on for the drive, like for the ride.
It's funny how he doesn't say, like, hold these, please. He describes what he wants him to hold on to.
Yeah,
in
hold my
detail.
hat, cane, and gloves. Yeah.
Superman really wants his what he desires to be understood and done.
Well, I mean, he's paying the guy, so presumably.
That's why he's a rich person, because he has that.
I bet that Jenkins would probably agree to be his chauffeur just in exchange for protection. Just like I'm chauffeuring Superman around, nobody's gonna fuck with me.
Trickle down economics. Superman could have built one of his helper robots to drive the car, and he hired a living man.
Yeah, he's creating jobs. He's a maker, not a taker.
That's
Well,
right.
he doesn't seem to understand what he's doing at all at this point, because
Well, he
the next
stopped
thought he has is, why did I do this?
Yes.
Stopped the robbery, though, didn't he?
He did,
stop
but
the robbery.
he could have stopped it immediately.
Yeah.
He could have done it without the histrionics, for
There
sure.
were a ton of people with PTSD now because he decided he needed to go get his top hat, single glove, and fucking cane.
I love the smartest person in this whole scenario is one of the gang members. Because he's like, why did that happen?
Yeah.
I can't figure that was, hey guys, that was weird, wasn't it? That didn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
A millionaire getup is just a top hat, a cane, and one white glove, and a Superman costume.
This is
On
where
top
Michael
of-
Jackson actually got the idea.
I
He's
hope
like,
so.
that looks pretty cool. He comes out with the top
Ace
hat and the
Frehley?
cane.
It's a little Ace Frehley. Hey guys, you ever get persecuted because you just have a childish sense of innocence and you like to hang around with kids but you're not doing anything wrong?
Please note that all of the Dark Side's Couch hosts don't condone that opinion.
Poor
There's
Michael
a lot of
Jackson.
digging to do. There's a lot of digging to do is all I'm saying.
I don't think he's dead. I think he disappeared.
He's hanging out with Andy Kaufman and
I
I
think-
assume
Elvis.
it's all a work.
I think that, well, all right. Yeah. Well, me thinking everything is a work, but like Michael Jackson, like just dies and disappears. Yeah. If there's one person who needed to disappear, it was that dude.
I mean, if he would have disappeared in 1995, I would have said sure. But he wasn't. He was free and clear at that point. He was doing fine.
Like at this point, he had like a crazy wig and his face was gone.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the look he was going for.
And like everyone's accusing him of molesting children because most likely that's what he did.
Nobody's offered any proof of that.
I mean, besides the fact that he's freaky and he hung out with kids,
He's
it's
definitely
like,
freaky.
chances are, I don't know, man. He's probably more guilty than not guilty in my
If it
mind's
walks like a
opinion.
duck and fucks children like a duck, it's probably a duck.
He had all
He
that
didn't have
money.
some kind of evidence on any of this stuff.
I don't know. I don't know. He made amazing music.
He made amazing
He
music.
did.
I'm not saying it wasn't inappropriate. I'm not saying he wasn't weird as shit. I'm not saying he should have behaved the way he behaved. I'm just saying nobody's offered any proof that he actually did anything or was
I
actually...
still feel like you haven't done enough research on this to make a decision either way. Like, did you watch Finding Neverland or
No,
like,
I did-
the
I didn't have the-
transcripts or like
Oh,
that
the
kind
edited,
of thing?
Oh, the edited transcripts or the edited audio files from that documentary where they cut out all the stuff that recontextualized what he said to make it look like he was prepositioning kids.
Damn, James over here, a fucking Michael Jackson apologist.
Hold on.
I'm a truth
Now,
apologist.
I
and
didn't
won't
watch
apologize for it.
I didn't watch that show either.
I didn't either because I, as interesting as it sounded, I don't like thinking about little kids getting fucking.
I couldn't watch that Dahmer show. Everyone said was so great. I
didn't watch that.
I can't do that.
You know who made that Superman documentary? Jesus Christ.
It was Superman in a top hat and a cane.
You know
Yeah.
who made that Michael Jackson documentary was a kid, well, he was a kid at the time, who swore up and down that Michael Jackson never did anything to him. And then he tried to be the choreographer for the traveling Michael Jackson tour, like the tribute tour, or whatever. He wanted to be the choreographer. And then when he didn't get the job as choreographer, he all of a sudden decided, oh, you know what? Actually, I did get molested. And he wrote a book about it, and no publisher would publish it because it was so bad. And then he finally hooked up with somebody who was willing to turn it into a movie. So that's the story of the background of that.
But people can turn out to be bad people and still have terrible things done to them.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
but it's a little conspicuous that he decided, oh yeah, actually he did these terrible things. He decided that after he didn't get a massive paycheck for the job he wanted.
Yeah, but there's also the chance that when he was lying, that Michael Jackson said to him, if you do this for me, I will give you this massive paycheck.
We'll never know. Like, no one's ever going to know what really happened. He's probably alive somewhere on Epstein Island.
Yeah. Wow, this is a real long fucking sad tangent.
It's a good tangent. It's a fact-filled
tangent. It has
tangent.
nothing to do with Superman dressed as a rich man.
Well,
or
hold
Superman
on now.
dressed as a poor man.
He shouldn't have wore the one glove.
Superman is dressed as a rich man, and they think they can get away with anything.
Yep.
Take me to my brunch with Bill Clinton.
I mean, Superman's another person that everyone assumes is white based on how he looks, but he's actually not.
No, he's Kryptonian.
Yeah, he's Kryptonian. He's not a white man. He's a Kryptonian. Which means he's had no privilege whatsoever.
Well, he wasn't raised on Krypton, so he didn't even have the Kryptonian privilege.
Yeah. This guy's the ultimate underdog.
You think because there's white privilege, you think Jor-El's like looking for planets? He's just like, I think that one's good for my kid.
Well, the idea was, this planet is very, very similar to Earth. He'll be able to thrive there.
Well, no,
and get
it's not.
superpowers underneath this sun.
Yeah, like it's enough for yeah, right. Like that's suspicious.
That's a little
the
bonus.
Kryptonians already know that would happen. If that's the case, why didn't they all just go to planets that had that?
They only had one rocket. Because they didn't think their planet was going to explode. So Jor-El said, "Well, I'm going to start making rockets. I only got one of them done."
And it's baby sized.
I always thought it was like a happy accident. Like Superman lands on Earth, and that's just how that worked out.
I think originally, yeah, and then people went, "Well, that's astronomically unlikely," and they decided to say that no, it actually he was looking for a planet that was similar to Krypton.
How was it originally when he could just leap tall buildings and he beat up capitalists? Because in that time he wasn't raised by Ma and Pa Kent; he was raised in an orphanage.
Yeah, Ma and Pa Kent were dead, and he became Superman to avenge them or to pay tribute to them.
Something.
Yeah, he couldn't at first. He was Superman. He was just a man, dialed up to 11. He couldn't do anything.
What was their explanation? Was just that he's an alien, he can do that stuff?
Oh God, I have read Action Comics #1. I'm trying to remember. I could be totally wrong on this, but I don't think they said it had anything to do with the sun at the time. I don't think so. I could be totally wrong. But I don't think so. I think it was just like, yeah, he's an alien, and aliens can do cool shit. And they didn't really address the fact that he was an alien other than just to say, like, don't worry about it. He's an alien. Now he's going to do cool shit. Let's get on with it. Like, they really didn't dwell on the alien part.
That's for me. They did that for guys like me.
Yeah. Early Superman, he just went around beating up, like, wife beaters and mobsters and stuff. Like, he wasn't taking on big extraterrestrial threats. He was a social avenger.
He was the extraterrestrial threat.
He was. He's a threat to my heterosexuality with those nice glutes.
So Superman has no idea why he dresses as a millionaire and ruins that pool.
Well, the next thing he starts doing is he acts like a hobo because he sees that the city hall is going to delay funding clearing out the metropolis slums. They're just going to let the slums fester, and Superman has a problem with this, as he rightfully would as a social avenger.
No. Superman, he's mad there's a slum, so he goes there to bring attention to it, so they bulldoze it.
Yeah, because if they bulldoze it, they have to redo it. Actually, it's worth noting, way back in the day, before Shée was here, we actually did an issue of Action Comics with a very similar premise, is that the city did not want to rebuild all the slums and the low-income housing, so Superman just destroyed the entire neighborhood, so they were forced to.
Yeah, you're right, that happened then, but in this one, they don't rebuild anything.
Well, it's implied. It's implied they will. Well, he goes to the slums. He takes off his super boots, and there's a point of Lois.
Fake pair.
Yes, there's a point of Lois saying, "But how could his indestructible boots be torn up? Any of that matters? Who cares?" But he decides, I'm out here cooking my victuals, pretending to be homeless with my little coffee mug here, to bring attention to these slums that they need to be cleared out so that better living conditions can be built here.
Nope. There's nothing says anything about better living conditions being built.
No,
right.
It just says that.
So it just draws attention
it does
to
say
it.
underneath slum bill passed unanimously, but we don't know what that bill is. They might be banning slums.
It's
but they're just
pro-slum.
destroying this housing for these poor people.
Well,
that's all they're doing.
The idea is that it would be replaced with better housing.
They're like, Superman, look how gross these slums look. These people need to get the hell out of here. And Superman's like, you know what? You're right. I'm going to go there to draw attention to it.
I mean, okay, I guess there's no proof that that's not what happened. But yeah, so Superman goes there. He dresses up like a hobo. It's shaming the entire city. And so they decide, all right. We'll bulldoze all this stuff. Just stop doing this. And Superman says, well, that was weird. Why did I do that?
He's just like, I could have tore those houses down and rebuilt them myself at super speed. You go, yeah, you really could have.
Yep. It's, if I were a citizen of Metropolis, Superman would just seem like an unpredictable madman. Like every other day, he's turning into a zebra or he's growing 200 feet. Like it clearly seems like a guy that has no control over his life or his powers whatsoever.
Dude, he ponders right here, right now about how he could use his powers to make everyone's lives better. And he just doesn't do it.
He doesn't do it. Well, whatever. He's got other things to do. Next thing he has to do is he has to go to... I don't know if this was a thing or not, because we saw this in the Batman comic too, where they're just like filming reenactments of trials.
Yeah, it's just like they did with Batman putting that guy on death row.
Is this a real thing that used to happen? Yeah. All right, so this attorney has come over from Europe to reenact a famous case.
Well, yes, but he's like
I couldn't remember if he was British. He's British.
A British attorney, and the writer just made him the most stereotypical British guy he possibly could.
They gave him the dicky, they gave him the white wig, they gave him the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like, that's right, old chap.
1966. I don't know much about British history. I don't think that was happening in 1966.
No, they still wear it.
Yeah, they still do it.
Really? Do they still? Why are they doing that?
Barristers still dress up.
Yep.
Why are they doing that?
Because British people are a little bit formal, in case you can't tell.
I think they're just bored.
Dress up.
I think they're just bored. They had nothing to do.
I don't know, man. My parents over the holidays got me into watching British murder procedurals. And right now I just keep watching a British man in a suit on a beach. So
okay. So this guy says, I tried this case and I convicted this guy. I got this guy convicted, and his brother swore he was going to get revenge on me. I think he's going to come to this reenactment and do it. So Superman goes, all right, I'll just dress up as you and I guess reenact the entire thing myself.
Yeah, so he does. The guy shows up with a machine gun.
Yeah.
And it shoots away Superman's robe to show that it's actually Superman underneath. Mm-hmm. And Superman thinks to himself, I could have just... Oh, no, he doesn't think it. His editor is like reading the story
Perry
that Clark
White?
Kent wrote. Perry White. And says, like, why didn't Superman just like use his X-ray vision from like 10 miles away and just come and get the guns before any of that even happened?
Well, also, how did he get on set? You got cast as an extra and they didn't check his name?
No, he's Superman. He just showed up.
Well, no, the bad guy, not Superman.
Oh, yeah, that guy. He was like an extra in the filming.
Yeah, he had to get his SAG card to get in there.
And he had a machine gun.
This is a long process. It's come to think of it, Superman had to get his SAG card too.
Yeah.
That's a ridiculous thing.
Well, he's not an American citizen. He can't work.
Oh, wow, yeah. That's why he's got to bully so many people for his living.
I mean, it says right there that this story was written by Clark Kent, so he's getting work out of this.
Yeah, but Clark Kent is his fake ID.
So Clark Kent funnels his money to Superman.
Right? His parents had to get him a social security number.
Yeah, they just said that was their son. Who's going to dispute it? Like, a couple shows up with a baby and they want to declare that this is their son. Who's going to like say, oh, no, that's probably an alien that crash landed.
Hey,
like,
where's the birth record?
Yeah,
like, how are they doing all that?
I want to see the long form birth certificate.
Dude, like Superman wouldn't be able to do shit in the modern day because like he doesn't have any of his IDs. Like, back then, maybe they could get away with it a little bit, but like nowadays, you ain't getting away with that shit.
Well, we've talked about this before that like it wasn't until like the 70s that we started keeping records of things. Like we have relatives and nobody knows when they were born. They're living relatives.
I think keeping records of stuff like that is overrated.
Yeah. It takes all the mystery out of life.
Yeah.
The excitement.
Yeah, who built the pyramids? I don't know.
Could have been aliens. Who knows?
Right. Think of all those goofy YouTube videos wouldn't exist if we knew who built the pyramids.
Yeah.
So this is about the point in the story where I started getting legitimately frustrated because it just seemed like it was going nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now Clark Kent is he's at like a Native American reservation. And they're having some sort of dedication or some sort of ritual or whatever. But a couple of guys in the audience, one of them...
They're way up to no good.
They were up to no good. They started making trouble in the Native Americans' neighborhood. And
in the nativehood.
He brought one little magnifying glass. He's got a magnifying glass, and I don't know why. He's inspecting this pole, and I guess the pole is made out of pure jade.
Yeah, so the jade pole... it helps them divine where they can find water.
That's what the Hulk calls his penis.
The jade pole.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
That's pretty fucking cool.
I don't care. Who cares?
Good job, Hulk.
Yeah. So, they decide they're going to steal this giant pole without anybody seeing, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're going to put it on their
sticking out of
dirt
the
bike. They brought like a little dirt bike.
This fully jade pole is able to be carried by just two random dudes
Yeah, so,
on a dirt bike.
They grab the jade pole and they're like, oh man, this thing is big. How the hell are we going to get out of here without them running us down on their horses?
And that's exactly what they do.
They're like, oh, I know. I had this dirt bike stashed away and we could ride on this oil pipe.
It's an oil pipe. It's an abandoned pipeline.
So they had to definitely practice this before doing it.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of leaks coming from that pipeline.
I see a lot of leaks coming from this plan.
Like it's just a long stretch of pipe on some like ladders.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a rickety old abandoned pipeline, and this is their method of getting away. And the Native Americans rightfully are saying, "Well, it's not worth getting on that fucking pipeline. We're gonna."
Like, it's not really jade.
That's
it's
fake.
Symbolism.
So, all right, I guess I'm guessing Mike wants to touch on this before we continue.
We could totally skip. Oh yeah, the health myths debunked.
In the middle of the comic, there is a one pager from some sort of public service announcement about debunking health myths.
I love these public service announcements. It's like, hey guys, we know a lot of you guys aren't smart. So we're going to tell you what you need to do to not die.
In fairness, the general audience reading comics in 1966 probably needed a little intellectual help, a little goosing.
Oh, yeah. We learned that you should always get rusty nail wounds treated.
Yep. Rusty or not rusty. If you a nail goes through your foot, any nail wound, get it looked at.
Checked out.
Stop just fucking around.
Oh, it wasn't rusty. You could just keep walking on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Walk that
Step
off.
on more.
Stop doing that. Stop putting a piece of meat on your black eye. Right? Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, a kid steps on a nail. He's like, it's not rusty, so you're good. And then a guy shows up in a bag and goes, hold on there, son.
So yeah, the guy who's giving this information is just a random man who walked in with like a doctor's satchel. Not a doctor, I don't think, just a man.
I mean, it was a lot more innocent time.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but we say that.
Yeah. Hold on there, kid. It doesn't matter if it's a rusty nail or not. Now let's saw that foot off quickly before gangrene takes in.
Let's get rid of it. It'll spread to your entire body.
What?
But in 2023, get your tetanus boosters.
Yeah, get boosted. Don't put meat on a black eye. That ain't gonna help you.
Yeah, maybe because that started because that the only cold thing they had was like meat.
See, now those first two things, all right, whatever. That kind of is a useful piece of advice in terms of if you get hurt or something like that. And then I think they just ran out of stuff. So they're like, oh, by the way, just because when you shave or you cut hair more often, it doesn't make it grow back faster or thicker or anything like that. Like which is not really a safety tip.
I love there's an old wives' tale telling you that if you get frostbite, make it colder with snow.
Yeah, I never even heard of that.
That's insane.
Well, I'm guessing that means that this particular comic worked for that because we didn't grow up thinking that.
Yeah. Goons.
So then the guy gives a nice wink as he leaves, and everyone.
Dude, that'd be a good vaccine ad. Like when they were trying to get people to get the COVID vaccine, like saying, "Don't rely on unscientific myths. Learn the right habits and stay healthy."
Yeah, they should have hired this guy.
Yeah, that very clearly worked.
Yeah.
Get this guy in there. I'd listen to whatever this guy has to say.
I don't put meat on my face.
Yeah, I never understood that as a kid. You'd see that in cartoons and stuff. Like, you're wasting a perfectly good meat. I'm not going to eat that now. I'm not going to feed that to my family.
I will. Y'all cook it up.
Yeah. I'm lying. I will too.
Yeah, right. You get to eat little particles of their skin cells that you cooked.
Yeah, then you gain their power.
That's right. Thank you.
So getting back to the story, as it were, Clark Kent decides to turn into Superman and then he steals a headdress.
Yep.
A Native American headdress, which is offensive. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, bow and arrow
Talk
too.
about the Man of Steel.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, you should have saved that for the next one.
Oh, you're right.
The next
I blew my load. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say it again later.
Fast.
It's fine.
Yeah, just say it again. Fuck it.
Yeah. I'll tell you I'll cut out the first time you did it, but I actually won't.
No. And I wouldn't expect any different.
We need to show how indifferent we are to that. We got to We're just going to use it again.
Yeah, got to show how the sausage is made around here.
Yeah, that's right.
So Superman decides to... this doesn't really have anything to do with being a Native American. He decides to use his super strength to shake the pipeline and kill these young men.
Yep, kills them.
Well, they go flying off the pipeline into this gorge as naturally they would. Superman grabs the pole first. He grabs the jade pole before dealing with these people plummeting to their death.
Yep, and Hulk goes, oh.
This is the DC Marvel crossover we've been waiting for.
Yep, Superman dressed as a Native American jacks off the Hulk.
A fan of Lady Production. So then he shoots some bows at these guys and manages to catch them.
That is pretty cool. He shook the pipe enough where they flew into the air.
Yeah.
And then while they're in the air, he fires his arrows at them so they would propel them to hit a tree.
Yeah, and apparently he got them just in time because they're only 8 inches off the ground.
Yeah.
He got them just before they died.
Yep. They're like, wow, Superman, that was great. You could just keep that Indian headdress.
You can keep that even though you just destroyed this entire pipeline and filled our gorge with trash, but sure.
Yeah, hey, he got the pole back.
Keep your little souvenir, Superman, you asshole.
He goes, oh, no, I'm keeping the jade pole.
Yes. No, that's for me.
This headdress is mine now.
And then Superman takes a moment to think, this is really weird. I don't know what's going on.
He's like, man, that was kind of fucked up what I just did.
What's wrong with me?
Am I losing my mind?
So here we see that the dude... the dude who showed up with a machine gun at that court reenactment, he's escaped from prison.
Yep.
And now he wants to get revenge, but he's like, I can't get revenge on Superman, what with him being made of steel and such, but I can shoot Clark Kent, who's his buddy.
Yeah, how did he find him? Clark and Lois are having a brunch.
Yeah, they're having a delicious brunch. They're having a great time. And somehow he knew they'd be there. Maybe they brunch at the same place every afternoon.
What if he called the Daily Planet and asked for one of them, and asked for Clark Kent, and they just told him exactly where he was?
It's weird to me because, all right, Superman can't let his loved ones know that he's actually Superman. Okay, fine. Doesn't want to endanger them. But it's public knowledge that Superman and Clark Kent are buddies.
And in this article that he wrote about Superman, there was a photo of Clark Kent looking just like Superman.
Yeah, I don't understand why Clark Kent... Wait, hold on. Yeah, in this... You know what? In this paper here... Yeah. Okay, now wait, hold on. This is something I'm just realizing now. Something's really out of whack here. So it's an issue of the Daily Planet. It says, Superman foils murder plot. How I tricked the would-be assassin. Superman's exclusive story as told to Clark Kent. And a giant photo, not of Superman, but of Clark Kent. Since when does the reporter get a giant picture of themselves at the top of the article? What the hell is that?
You think Clark Kent would never put his photo in the
exactly?
Yeah.
I think he'd never make appearances, right?
No. He should be wearing a mask to work.
Yeah, he'd be working from home now.
He should be the anonymous reporter.
He should always have a mask on, he's like, oh yeah, I get sick easily.
Yeah, he always wears a mask, and Superman never wears a mask, so nobody thinks he has a secret identity. That'd be way better.
Yeah. We're thinking about this a lot better than he did.
Yeah. I understand why Superman doesn't want to wear a mask. He wants to be an open public figure. That's fine, but Clark Kent could absolutely be wearing a mask. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, he should wear a wig.
Yeah, he should wear a funny wig and a mustache and a mask.
You see later that Supergirl...
She does that.
Yeah, that's what she does. What the fuck?
She's a smart lady.
Superman's just like, oh no, wigs are not for men.
I'm not some British attorney.
Yeah.
I'm American. I'm an American man. So this dude shows up. He tries to shoot at Clark Kent. He misses, but he hits a ketchup bottle. So Clark decides to pretend that the ketchup bottle is blood and he's actually been hurt and he needs to be taken to the hospital.
Yeah, he goes, all right, now time to pretend to be asleep.
He pretends like he's injured. And then they say, well, we're going to have to do surgery
no one
on you.
checked to open his jacket or his shirt to see if he's actually shot?
No one's looked. They're taking his word for it.
Or to apply pressure.
No.
Well, he's trusted reporter Clark Kent. If he says he's been shot, you believe him.
He just has some ketchup on him. Right? If he got shot...
Least, yeah, I'm surprised nobody went, at least let us clean up the blood. No!
Well,
wouldn't he be losing blood profusely? What the fuck? And Lois even says that she is a trained nurse.
Yes. in her spare time.
Not trained well.
No.
Yeah, she's like, what the fuck?
So they load him in. They put him on his chest, by the way, to load him into the ambulance.
Right,
which
here,
seems like
lean
another
out
problem.
faster.
She leans down into his ear. Don't get any shots. They're full of non-medicine.
When she leans in, she's like, I knew I was going to get you one day, Clark Kent. Let's him die.
It's going to be my picture on the next issue. So then they say, like, well, we're going to have to do surgery on you. And Clark goes, oh, shit. How am I going to figure this out? So
Right.
he uses his super ventriloquism to call the nurses away so that he can change into a Superman costume and then put scrubs on over his Superman costume.
With his super ventriloquism, what he does is he makes it sound like the speaker is like calling the nurses out of the room.
Yes, so he can not only throw his voice, he can distort it.
Like, wow. And then
pretty cool.
And specify what it's coming from.
Yeah.
And here he like panics and just flies out of the room and dresses up as a surgeon, and they catch him. And he's like, I as Superman am going to perform the surgery. And he just knocks the doctor out of the way.
Now, it's interesting because the doctor says, well, Superman, you don't have a medical license. And then Lois Lane makes a point of saying he got his license in Superman Lois Lane issue number 12.
And she's totally lying.
She's totally lying, but he's not going to check. But yeah, apparently there's another issue where they actually thought about this because they knew somebody was going to write in and complain. They actually said, well, we've established that Superman is legally a surgeon in this other comic book, so it's fine.
Yeah. He's like, all right, you guys can't watch the surgery either.
You can't watch it either.
He closes the thing and he goes, I'm putting him to sleep now with my super hypnosis.
Special Kryptonian medical procedures you can't see.
No. Ooh, he's bleeding so much. So much blood.
Oh,
God, you should see this, guys.
I'll clean it all up. Oh, and I threw the rags out the window.
I'm such a good surgeon. Oh my God.
Do you want me to help you stitch him up? No. I got it. I got
all
it.
of this.
I am also a master seamstress.
So he
She's
comes
like,
out.
it's true. He has his certificate.
He went to DeVry. So Superman comes out from behind the curtain and he goes, yep, I took care of that. That was perfect. And then knocks over a tray of instruments and tells them to clean it up.
I love it. He just like comes out there like, oh, yep, the surgery was totally successful. Oops. And like knocks over his tray. He just showed that he can do anything.
He's the most amazing surgeon on the planet.
And yet he's a clumsy idiot.
His fine motor skills are lacking.
And he just flies out the window real quick.
He says, will you please clean that up for me? They clean it up, and so he dives back into the window as Clark Kent, and they inspect him, and the doctors look at Clark Kent and say, wow, he operated on you and didn't even leave a scar.
He's like, oh, yeah, isn't that amazing? These people are fucking bumpkins.
Now, reminder here that we just saw a PSA saying, don't believe unscientific facts.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I think they had to put that in there.
Like, even if they're suspicious, they can't fucking say anything.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
Somebody has to be putting two and two together here.
Are you questioning Superman's integrity? Oh, no.
So Clark Kent just leaves the hospital because that's how that works. Mm-hmm. And he sees some kids playing, and we'll come back to that momentarily.
Yeah, one kid's face is terrifying.
oh yeah.
Christ. Yeah, 1960s kids' faces. I don't know what they were doing back then, but
Back then, kids in the 60s were ugly.
they were ugly. They had freckles. They wore weird hats. I don't know what was going on.
Maybe this was just like a really poor 21 Jump Street, and they had to send the youngest cop they had, which was a 45-year-old man.
Yes, that's Dorf on the playground.
Yes.
You know, back then, like, everyone looked healthy, but they were ugly, and now everyone looks sick, but they're better looking.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, it's those vegan diets.
Sickly.
Yeah, it's interesting. Everyone looks pallid. Mm-hmm. Then Superman, watching these kids play, weird, then decides...
What he does. Well, it's 3:00, time to go watch kids play.
I keep an eye on everyone.
And he's like watching them play, and he's thinking to himself, there's a super ugly kid.
I fucking hate that kid. I hope something happens to that kid one of these days. I'm not doing shit.
That kid's weird.
So this gives him an idea, and he looks up into the sky with his telescopic vision, and he sees something.
What if he's watching these kids, right? Because in his spare time, he's also Santa Claus, and he's writing up his list.
He's got 3 jobs.
He's got, like, well, time to go prepare for being Santa Claus.
Well, he's got to have revenue streams coming in.
He could do it.
Yeah, he's got time.
He's Superman, right?
Well,
he can be Santa Claus.
For Superman, Santa Claus, it's probably only about 10 hours out of his year.
If these comics are like, for how I've seen these comics and how they've acted, I could totally see Superman as a kid learning that Santa Claus isn't real, and then thinks to himself, with these powers, I will be Santa Claus.
I'm sure there's an issue or something that covers something like that.
Positive.
Like it has to be,
Superman
right?
has become Santa Claus. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Super Claus.
Santa gets knocked out or kidnapped. Yeah.
I just mean like he realizes he didn't exist. He's just like, well, that's fucked up.
You got to make him real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was a
With great
real,
power.
wasn't it Saint Nicholas? Didn't he like leave gold bars on people's steps? Wasn't that the real origin of the Santa Claus mythos?
Totally. I thought Santa Claus was like Odin or something.
I don't know. Anyway, so Superman figures out what's going on, but he's not going to tell us yet.
Nope.
And he decides to go to the FBI. He pops in the window, as is how Superman gets into rooms, I guess. And he just, over the course of one panel, says, "No time to talk. I'm going to rob something. I can't tell you what, but you got to stop me by." And he leaves.
Yeah. And the guy's just like, shit.
Okay.
What if everyone in the FBI got a memo and it said, like, leave your windows open for Superman?
Yeah. Everyone has to leave their windows open in Metropolis.
So we got a letter from Superman. He's asking us to leave the windows open for him.
Yep. We never question Superman. If that's what he says, that's what we're doing.
They're like, why don't you just use
Seems
the
legit.
door?
Yeah. Nope. He doesn't use doors.
Because doors are for normal men and he's Superman.
Yeah. If you
That's
could
fair.
fly into rooms, you're flying into rooms. So the FBI guy goes, "Well, you didn't give me any clues, but I'm guessing that's this multi-billion-dollar shipment of gold bars that's coming into Metropolis. That's probably what he's looking for."
Yep. So they go to every natural history museum and take all their supply of kryptonite. So I guess there's a lot of it.
There's not that much of it, but if you put it all together, yeah.
So his plan is to hide it in the train. So when Superman comes for the train, he'll die from kryptonite poisoning.
Right. And so Superman shows up in a ridiculous contraption.
Well, it looks like one of those money guns. You know, you got those like hand guns that just shoots out the
Shoots
dollar
like
dollar
fake
bills.
money with your face on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. He converted into a helicopter.
Yeah, it looks like kind of like a frying pan with a propeller on the top. I don't know what it is.
It's like
Or-
a grocery store hand scanner.
It's like a Roomba. Yeah. So he pilots this ridiculous thing, and he uses it to suck up all of the kryptonite and drop it in the ocean. Mm-hmm. All right?
Killing all the fish.
Yeah, really. So now, in theory, he can go steal the gold bars, but I guess what's been bothering him is worn off, and he lands and says, "Don't worry, I'm not going to steal your gold bars, and I'm pretty sure I'm back to normal now."
I just needed to
He just
steal
had-
something.
Yeah, exactly. It just didn't matter what.
Just the thrill. He just had a Winona Ryder it.
But they're like, Superman, how could you be sure? He goes, well, I can't, and you sure as hell can't.
Well, here's a ridiculous explanation. I was watching some kids the other day. Don't you worry about why. And I noticed they were playing a fun game.
As he said that, he had a flash of himself dressed as Santa Claus with a long white beard.
Yeah.
And so
Little do they
apparently,
know, I'm secretly Santa Claus.
apparently back in the day, kids used to play a game where they counted each other's shirt buttons to tell their future,
All right.
which is the dumbest game in America until Call of Duty.
Right, but what if, like, that one kid doesn't even have any buttons?
Yeah, he's going to die soon.
I don't think. Do they count the fly button?
I guess it depends on how in-depth you want to get.
I don't think kids ever did this.
As we've learned previously, Mike thinks shirts with buttons on them are too bougie.
And they're it's ridiculous that they still exist. Like, you don't need it anymore. We have normal shirts that fit you.
Speaking of going Amish, was that even in the show? About Shée going Amish, churning her own butter?
No.
I don't know if that was even in the show. Never
was
mind.
not.
I'm going to leave it in anyway. Shay's churning her own butter and making her own bread.
No. Shée got a bread maker from James and has been making bread.
Yeah.
Shée has not churned her own butter yet.
Okay.
I churn my butter every day.
Yeah, well, you got to. You got a jade pole. You got to take care of that.
Yeah, you got to have a healthy prostate.
Yep. There's another penis joke coming up in just a little bit, by the way, that I've got.
Fantastic.
Looking forward to in the second story. So yeah, I guess now I've heard the rhyme "rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief." I'd heard that. I didn't know it. I'd never heard it associated with any fucking button counting game. That's news to me. But apparently, Superman remembers that when he was a kid, he saw a weird comet, meteor, something out the window. and it compelled him to just keep reciting the rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief poem rhyme.
Can you imagine that? You're like your mom, Pa Kent, and you find an alien baby in the cornfield, and you take it home and you're raising it, and then one day your kid starts, who has these superpowers, and he can obliterate everyone around him, he just starts to lose his mind.
Yeah, he just won't stop reciting this rhyme. That's terrifying.
They're looking at each other like, man, maybe we should have just called the government.
Yeah, this is probably a mistake. We probably could have gotten a reward,
right?
Instead
they
of
made a
murder.
movie recently about that. Yeah.
What, Brightburn? What are you talking about?
Yeah, Brightburn.
Yeah, Brightburn. How was that?
Both of which are James Gunn joints.
Oh,
I think he wrote Brightburn, but he didn't direct it.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either. So anyway, he remembers this, and he thinks, well, maybe that comet has come back around, and he sees, oh yeah, the comet has come back around. It's just orbiting. It's wandered from Krypton's solar system, and that's why it's affecting me. I don't really know why that means he's compelled to reenact the characters in this rhyme, but he is. That's how it works.
And he explains it to the FBI guy, and he goes, "We tried our best to stop you, Superman, but you outfoxed us." And Superman thinks to himself, "Yeah."
Yeah, that's what happened.
That's it. Period. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. So he was reenacting the characters from the rhyme, a rich man, a poor man, whatever. And it's a good thing thief was last, even though it isn't last in
Not
the
at all.
rhyme. It's not last in the rhyme. How did that work out?
He's like, "Sorry, guys, I just temporarily went insane." And they're
Yes.
like, "Ha, ha, ha,
Is this going to
ha,
happen
okay."
again when the comet comes around?
No, don't worry. Nothing else bizarre will happen to me.
Yep.
I have
18 years later.
I have
Then he
no
goes- then he goes and-
transformations.
And then he goes and fries his brain in the potato machine and separates into two people
My
and
God.
solves all problems.
There really should be a government agency not to stop Superman, but just to monitor the bizarre behavior that happens. Just
the last episode, Superman, we saw how competent he was. In this one, we see how utterly insane he is.
yeah, the comets. We all get comet madness sometimes.
Like, this is the Silver Age, yeah?
This would be the Silver Age.
Silver Age Superman comics are now my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, they're fun once in a while, but yeah, he gets all screwed up because of a comet and a meteor, and that made him act bizarre. And speaking of heavenly bodies, now we've got this Supergirl story, right? Right, yeah. It's a backup story.
This is like the second time we've did a Supergirl backup story where she goes to an alien planet and conquers it.
This happened a lot. This was a very common trope in the time. The space race was on, This is called The Green Sun Supergirl, written by Otto Binder with art by Jim Mooney.
Otto Binder sounds like something you'd get in middle school.
Hey, he's a classic. He's a
like
legend.
It's like his name is Trapper Keeper. If I ever get in trouble and I have to go somewhere and change my name, I'm gonna call myself Jerry Trapper Keeper.
Please do.
So here we've got Supergirl, who basically is Superman, except she doesn't wear long pants. Mm-hmm. That's basically how that works here.
Yep.
She's got to air out.
Yeah, well, all right. Unacceptable.
Well, she's taking care of her supermanuary.
Yes. All right, there we go. I like that. Oh, weren't we supposed to reuse that Man of Steel joke? Where was that supposed to come up? Oh, because when he stole the kryptonite. We didn't even do it. We teed it up and then we didn't say it again.
I forgot.
Yeah, we forgot. Oh, bad at this. We're so bad at this. We're going to get good at this
Man
in
of
100 episodes.
Steel.
There we go.
STEAL.
Classic. So here, Supergirl, who lives at Stanhope College, and she's hanging out with all of her sorority sisters in the lounge, and they're watching a special NASA announcement. Mm-hmm. And on the announcement, NASA is saying that they're going to have Supergirl test some new, and I'm not making this word up, astronet outfits so they can send women into space, lady folk.
Yeah,
But,
astronet, like ETTE,
Yeah,
like a feminine suffix.
Awful.
Astronaut at.
Well, astronaut is not a masculine word. Like it's
Yeah.
it's just insulting to me to add ed onto there because it makes it seem like it's a variation on being an astronaut. You're still an astronaut just because you're a woman.
Supergirl's the perfect person for them to try this shit out with. Because if it fucks up, she'll be fine.
Yeah, and actually that is they did make a good point of that. She is definitely the right test subject for this. Astronet. You don't go to see a doctress. There's no female doctress.
There probably was.
I hope not. That's fucking stupid.
Let's look up and see if doctress was
All right,
ever a
let's-
thing.
Let's see if doctress was a word.
We're back at Dwarf.
We still got this dwarf tab open. Wow, that I swear to God, I pulled this term out of the ether, but apparently it is an archaic form. It's an archaic word meaning a female doctor.
That's fucking cool.
That's fucking dumb. They're doctors. They're still doctors, regular old doctors.
It's cool that you predicted it.
Yeah.
Doctresses.
I predicted how fucking backwards society is.
We live in a society.
I don't know. I'd want to be a doctress. That sounds pretty cool. Doctress.
Dumb. Misogynistic bullcrap. So then we find out that the term ridic, as in short for ridiculous, goes back at least as far as 1966.
Yeah.
Right? And then she says based, which shows how far back that went.
Yes. Well, based has been around since the beginning of time. Yeah, so they start talking about, I wonder who Supergirl is. She probably lives a great life. What do you think, Linda, who is Supergirl?
She goes, I think that I'm the one doing it because I'm fucking Supergirl.
She does kind of think that. She teases it a little too much. She says Supergirl's alter ego might even be registered here at Stanhope as a student. Now she's just flaunting how stupid.
They're like, it's you.
She's just like, why are you doing it? Why are you teasing this?
It's apparently part of the family since Clark was doing the same
Yeah,
thing.
seriously. What a bunch of assholes.
Because she does that, and they catch her, and then they have a realization. They look over at the newspaper of that story Clark Kent wrote with his big fucking face right on the front page of the headline. She's like, wait a minute, your cousin's Clark.
Wait a minute. This is making a lot of sense all of a sudden. Oh, wait, hold on. Your hair's a different color. No, never mind.
She calls up Clark. She's like, hey, Clark, so I fucked up, and everyone knows who you are now.
Just ruined everything.
Maybe stay off Twitter.
Yes. That's a good advice for everybody, really.
Superman's like, I'll never.
He's got a lot of opinions. He's going to get out.
He's just like, I think everyone knows you're Clark now because of something I did. He goes, yeah, I don't care. And just leaves. He puts on his Indian chief headdress and leaves.
He's got to go tweet his defense of Andrew Tate.
And then he just flies to the North Pole. It's like, I guess I'm just going to do this full time now. And all the elves are like shackled to their workstations.
Why is Santa at the North Pole, not the South Pole? What's wrong with the South Pole?
Nothing.
Yeah, probably the better pole if you ask me.
That's where the access to the center of the world is.
That's how you get in, yeah. That's how you see the mole people.
Uh-huh.
So Linda turns into her Supergirl identity and goes to try out this astronet outfit for NASA.
Mm-hmm. And they launch her into space.
They launch her into space, and she starts exploring, and she says, I've been on here 5 seconds. I already ripped the suit. That's a good thing I'm invulnerable.
Yeah, right, or I'd be dead. Hey, guys, your suit sucks, turns out.
It fucking blows. You're scientists?
They didn't need to send a spacesuit into space to test it.
Well, I mean, they probably did a lot of land-based tests already, and now they wanted something closer to the real thing.
Right, but like this is all they're doing. Like when you go into space, they usually have like 50 missions that they're actually doing.
They hadn't thought about that yet. This is 1966. They were doing one mission, one goal.
They're like, just get there.
Like, we could really make better use of this money if we included some ants or something to study. Nope. One thing, one ship, one job.
This she gets sucked into like a cosmic wave where like she's like caught like a Gulf Stream or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so she thinks to herself, I better check the manual.
She says, interestingly enough, she goes, well, I could just get out of the spaceship and just fly home, but I got to stick with the ship because it costs the taxpayers $10 million and I don't want to waste it. So
she has super memory and she has like a Superman super mind, right? She's just like, so her brain's way better. This means that so if there was a manual of the space shuttle,
you're right. She did check the manual. Okay.
Right. So like, if she like has a super brain, that means that she could have just read the manual a while. Like she's been planning on doing this for a long time. She should know how this machine works.
She trusted American engineers.
She didn't read the manual before going.
Yeah, she trusted that she was told everything she needed to be told.
She could have just glanced at it once and had the whole thing memorized, and she didn't bother.
Do you ever see the Home Improvement video game for I think it was Genesis? And you open up the manual. You open up the manual. First of all, if anybody's interested in this, go look it up because it's clearly not a Home Improvement game. It was clearly another game that they just slapped Home Improvement on for some reason. But if you open up the manual, it's got a big fake sticker on there that says "Real men don't use instructions," and you can't actually read the instructions for the fucking game. It's so stupid.
That's pretty great. Was there a level where he gets embarrassed that his son's goth?
See, That's the thing, is the game, he has to, I believe, collect all the Binford tools that got lost or whatever. And so the idea is, like, he's going to the different sets that I guess different shows or movies film on, but it's just an excuse to, like, put him in Jurassic Park or this or that. It has nothing to do with Home Improvement whatsoever. It's just they made a game.
What would they do?
I don't know. That's probably why they just decided to shove it into something else.
Can you imagine the kid that like asked for that for Christmas?
No, I can't.
Can you imagine
really.
like I really like that's his favorite show and he has to have the game.
And he gets it, and you get to be Tim Allen, and then you're fighting dinosaurs.
Yeah, well,
two great tastes that taste great together.
Yeah.
press A repeatedly to do a bigger line.
Yeah. Let's not forget. Let's
he
not
fights
forget
dinosaurs.
Tim Allen.
Yeah, if you lose the game, there is a cheat of you being able to turn over everybody else you worked with in the game.
Let's not forget. The only reason Tim Allen is a celebrity is because he was dealing cocaine, and when he got busted, he ratted out other people to go free. Mm-hmm. And then he became a beloved household icon.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of beloved household icons,
Right.
Santa Claus did not live in the North Pole until a Victorian cartoonist put him there in December 1866.
Wow. Was it Thomas Nast?
It was.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Wow, good guess. What the hell?
I memorized my Victorian cartoonist, Thomas Nast.
Jesus.
It used to be believed that the word nasty was came from Thomas Nast, but that's not true. However, Thomas Nast, he's the one who started representing Democrats as donkeys and Republicans as elephants in political cartoons. And for whatever reason, the political parties decided to officially adopt it, even though it was mocking them.
Yep.
That's
It's
Thomas
like
Nast for you.
It's like when they come out Born in the USA.
Yeah. God damn. Damn.
But the original St. Nicholas is from what is now Turkey.
Really?
All right.
Interesting. All right. I like it.
You got the hell out of there.
Thank you, Shée. Shée, have we hit the panel? I think before we started recording, you mentioned there was a specific panel that made this entire book worthwhile to you. Have we hit that panel yet?
We have not.
Okay. I don't want to miss this. I'm very excited about this. So, anyway, she consults the manual. Supergirl, not Shée. Supergirl consults the manual and says, oh, okay, the only way to get my GPS back on track is to reactivate the sensor with something radioactive?
Yes.
All right. Radioactive rays. Needs radioactive rays to reactivate the GPS sensor.
Yes. But she realizes that she's fucked.
Yeah.
Because she's not under a yellow sun.
Are there green suns?
I would guess not. I would guess that's just fun.
I mean, there's white, there's yellow, there's red and blue.
Yeah, how would it glow green? You know?
I don't know.
Because you don't see green in a flame.
The red sun, or not the red sun, the yellow sun and the blue sun have sacs, and it comes out of a green sun.
That's got to be hot.
Ah.
Speaking of hot, though, we are now on the panel that, in my opinion, made this entire comic book
Really?
worth it.
Okay.
Which is,
what's going on?
Supergirl has been thrown to the ground. She is out like a light. And then the next panel,
This is a great panel. This is a great panel.
Suddenly something splashes in her face.
Yeah.
And her response is, I'm reviving. Is this some sort of golden rain?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's just her being rained on looking up after saying this. And I got to this panel and went, oh shit.
Dude.
It's worth it for the golden shower.
Yep.
Dude, like even in the next panel, even if you kind of glance at it, it looks like a guy's got his dick out and he's dripping pee in front of her face. And then the next panel, he puts it in her mouth.
Check the YouTube for this. We're not kidding you here. Check the YouTube.
No.
We'll put these up. Yeah.
And we're not kink shaming. Everyone do what they
it's
like.
Fine. It's
no,
fine.
don't pee on people. Jesus Christ.
If it's consensual.
If you're
fuck?
if you're gonna pee on someone, do it in the tub so it all just drains away.
Do it in the tub.
You can do it.
or on a twister mat.
In the shower. Just
Twister
don't do
mat.
it like in the living room. Or
No, don't do it at like an Arby's. No, just do it in private in a sanitary environment. But yeah, you can absolutely have a golden shower. I didn't know golden showers went back to the 60s. I thought that was like a 1990s thing.
Nah, people have been peeing on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
People be peeing.
Shée does love pee. Shée
I
is
don't
the
love
historian on pee.
pee.
You said this was your favorite part of the comic.
It is a little suspect that you made a point of telling us there's one panel that really got me excited in this book.
Like, you jumped on this before I did.
I didn't say excited. I said excited about, like, that made the comic worth reading. And it was this panel. And you can't tell me otherwise. Tell me you don't feel that way.
Oh, boy. Oh, it's a great panel.
So the guy's just like, hello, stranger. I've been spraying you with this plant's milk for its golden nectar.
Yeah. Here, come put your mouth on my hose.
She's like, please take me to a hospital. I was just in a spaceship crash.
So that she can then dress up as her own surgeon and fix it.
Yes. They've got this tree, and this tree has a penis. Let's be honest here. It's got a penis.
No, it's got like a fucking,
it's like
a
elephant
gas
penis.
cord.
Yeah, but it's a penis.
It's a penis.
It's like they're milking it. They're spraying ladies with pee. It's just like, that's
she
what
was
it is.
asleep, by the way. She was asleep, and she's been getting peed on by this tree.
There's an alien tree next to it looking very sad that someone's not spraying pee with its penis.
Well, that's that tree's fetish, though, is to
Look at it.
watch
See
and
that?
feel
Look how
ashamed.
sad it looks.
That tree's being cucked.
It's like, can I pee on the lady now?
Yeah, but really it doesn't want to. It doesn't want to. It wants other people to do it in front of it. Yeah. So he's raising.
I need to go so bad.
He's raising his little penis. You can see it sticking
Like,
up.
this isn't my turn. The other guy's going, yay! He's got his arms up in the air because the guy's holding on to his dick. Yay! I'm having the best time.
So Supergirl wakes up, and this dude scrambles for an excuse and says, "Oh no! This will revive you. This is the milk from Golden Nectar." From
She's laying down, passed out. A guy walks by, right, and he's just like, "Sorry, Tree, I gotta grab your dick." He goes, "Oh no, don't be sorry. This is my favorite thing."
He even says he refers to it as milking it, but the milk is in quotation marks.
Yeah, it's milk, you know.
We're milking it, you know. And
It's jizz and pee. So it's extra embarrassing.
they mentioned that this is actually it's an ointment. It's going to heal your wounds, and it tastes good. It's our best food. So
And then he
please.
just jams it in her mouth.
He jams it down.
He does.
He really does. I mean, I'm having trouble making this more ridiculous than it actually is.
The lady who's with him is holding her down.
Yeah.
Because
I've seen that video actually though. I have seen that.
shoved the tree's dick in her mouth. It's like a hentai.
It's a tentacle monster for sure.
Oh, yeah. Good call. Yeah.
Yeah. So she wakes up. She goes, "Oh, I actually feel great. I feel like I've eaten a hearty steak dinner." Those are her words.
Right? That's how girls are after they have really rough sex.
And I guess so. And so she wakes up, and they're like, "Yeah, you're on our planet Lumel. How'd you get here?" And she gives kind of a brief explanation, but says, "I'm not going to tell them that my name is Supergirl because I have no powers here, so that just looks fucking stupid to call
Yeah, but
myself
they don't know what
Supergirl."
that means. They can just say, "Hey, my name is Supergirl." They're like, "All right."
Well, they speak perfect English, so you know.
Yeah,
No, they were no, she says that she was reading their minds at one point.
Oh yeah. If she was
Because
reading their minds, but they can read her mind.
Right. And I think that it seemed to be implied here that even though there are speech bubbles happening, they're actually telepathically communicating.
Oh, so they can hear her, like, trying to figure out how she can lie to them.
Yeah, so then they know she's Supergirl.
Right? How come they're people?
Except all of those thoughts are getting jammed away because now all Supergirl is thinking is, "Man, I really would like some more of that pee."
She's like,
That was
holy
really
shit,
good.
humans and or Kryptonians.
See, I can't even tell the difference. So Linda, she's going to call herself Linda. She says, "I'm stranded here. I got to find that glowing mineral I spotted from the sky to get my GPS working again." And one of the locals says, "All right, well, come with us. We're through milking the golden nectar trees."
And all the trees are taking a nap.
We're through milking the golden nectar tree is definitely what I'm going to say anytime I leave the bathroom from now on.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Oh, excuse me, fellas. I got to go milk the old golden nectar tree.
That was
You're going to come out of the bathroom and everyone's going to have left.
They're going to be like...
If I did it right.
Okay. Yeah, right? That's fine. That's fine.
So they decide to move on, and Supergirl, Linda, learns a bit about the planet Lumel that she's on. Apparently, there's some great music being made by some singing crystals in a pit, but you can't get to them because there's some dragons guarding them.
Yeah, she's just like, that looks like some good crystal.
They do refer to it as glass, I believe. Yeah, the glass.
She's she's like rubbing her hands together.
She's discovering a lot of stuff that she didn't know she was into.
She's like, on Earth, methamphetamines don't work on me, but my powers aren't working
Got no
here.
powers. Yeah, I get real fucked up. So
time to solve some problems.
And so then she sees that there's a group of evil-eyed people from underground who have decided that they're going to collect taxes from the locals, and if they don't have enough money, they're going to burn their houses down with their eye lasers.
So we're supposed to think like, oh my God, what a terrible alien society. That's kind of what happens if you don't pay your taxes here.
Yeah, they're still not as bad as human landlords.
Like, if you don't pay your property taxes, the government comes and takes your home.
Yeah.
Like this,
right in front of you. To boot you out. They send the sheriff into town to boot you out of your home.
Your home that you bought.
I mean, technically, it's not your home if you didn't pay for it.
Like, what's the difference between what these lizards with the eye lasers doing and just normal government taxing and regulation?
Did the lizards win the popular vote?
Who voted these lizards in?
I just want to see the receipts. That's all.
And just like our human world, we're ruled over by lizards.
Yep. Yeah. This may be
they're coming to take your home and your guns.
The earliest instance. Jesus Christ.
Because they have laser eyes.
That's right. They don't want you to be able to fire back.
This may be the earliest instance of the lizard people ruling the world.
Yeah, right? Well, no, the beginning of time, James, is the earliest instance.
Hold on. Okay.
There is
an
back up.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
So there is an ad here for essentially the brave and the bold, but then on the bottom, there's an ad for a new character who I've never heard of.
Me neither, and I want to do this one.
That's Scooter.
Yeah, and
that's good.
Yeah, exactly. And he is introduced by Superman saying, "It's DC's newest swinging star, Scooter. Everybody'll dig him."
He's swinging because he has 3-ways with me and Lois. That's why I'm flying in here with Lois to do.
Yeah. It looks like he's got a guitar on his back. He looks like a Beatle.
He's got kind of a dandy fop kind of thing.
Dude, he's cute enough where Lois would want him, and he's feminine enough where Superman's going to want him.
All right. Well, I wasn't planning to do this, but we want to take a quick look at what Swinger is. Or Swinger. His name's not Swinger. His name is Scooter. Scooter the Swinger.
Scooter the Swinger. He's a real swinger.
Swing with Scooter. It's a teen humor book published from 66 to 72. Made it
Holy
6 years.
Shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know I've seen this before, but I don't know anything about it.
It stars a British teenage musician who lived in the U.S. It really is a Beatle.
You know, there is an issue of a Superman comic where there is like some dude who's playing like some hypnotizing Beatles-esque song, and maybe that was him. I don't know.
He rides his scooter to Washington, D.C. to make out with Prez.
Yep. Oh, man, those two would make some beautiful, beautiful children.
Dude, they're so cute.
What a good family.
And have what was
Eagle
the name
Free. You're thinking of Eagle Free. I know you're thinking of Eagle Free.
He's cute.
He's the uncle. He always comes to Thanksgiving.
The what?
He's the what, James?
He's the, he's a friend of the family. Always comes.
Okay. He's your dad's brother or your mom's brother.
Your father's brother.
Well, anyway, we should do Scooter because he's cute.
Yeah, Scooter is a cute little boy.
Look at that. That was
no last name given in the comic, and his supporting characters include Cookie, Kenny, Malibu, and Penny.
Oh, Malibu's going to be fucking cute.
Oh, she's the blonde. Yeah.
Come on now. I want to read this book just to check out what Malibu's like.
All right, well, we can put Scooter on the list. Swinging with Scooter.
Yeah, there we go. I'm like old man creepily lusting for Scooter.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we're coming back to you.
It's gonna be a sexy story.
We're getting back to you, little sweet thing, you.
So
I'm gonna pay for your license sticker for your scooter.
Back to our Supergirl story. Assuming I didn't just cut all of that out. Definitely cutting it down. Nobody needs to hear all of that. So. The evil-eyed lizard man burned down this hut. Oh my God, this is what I'm doing with my life.
And Supergirl does nothing because she's like, oh yeah, we do that on my planet too.
What's she gonna do? She's got no powers.
No, it's cool. They just passed a slumlord bill in your guys' town, right? Because my cousin told me all about this.
And hey, we destroy slums where I live too.
Yeah, well, we just kind of did it for fun though.
She's like, if there's anybody who can get me the things I need to get the fuck out of here, it's probably you guys.
Yeah, really, she's putting her alliance on the wrong side of this. So everything with the hut burned down except the window panes because they're made out of some weird kind of plastic, like a translucent plastic, right?
They're like,
Why don't you just make the house of that?
They're like, we made the plastic out of the golden nectar.
You know what? It's their favorite thing. They love that golden nectar.
They're just sucking on it.
Delicious. So then they go and check, and they're like, well, we might as well make sure that we have enough to pay the taxes because we're fucked. And they check, and apparently their currency is small round stones.
Yep. They're like, she's like, so stupid. They're putting value on this thing that isn't even valuable. Idiots. What a bunch of idiots. Unlike where I come from.
Yeah, let me tell you how cryptocurrency works.
They're like, this isn't even digital. This isn't even backed up by the blockchain.
Oh, God, this is so fungible. It's so gross.
She's like, if I had my superpowers, I would have burned your house down, too.
So she decides, all right, here, I got an idea how I'm going to save these people. They don't have enough stupid stones to pay their rent. So I'm going to dig around in my spacecraft. I'm going to pull out some stuff. I got an iron bar. I've got some wire. I've got a battery. I'm going to make a magnet out of it, right? Mm-hmm. And she goes over to where the singing crystals are. And she realizes that the crystals are a form of red hematite, which has iron in it, which means the electromagnet will pick it up. She can get them without disturbing the dragons that live down there.
Yep, and when she's running back, the lizard's already burning down their home.
The lizard has not waited to make the they're actually still trying to hand the lizard the bag of stones, and he doesn't even want to count it.
They're like, just take the stones. And he goes, no, I want to burn your hut down more.
Well, what are they gonna do? Like, they can't stop him. Like, what is he gonna do? He's mad with power.
So I'm sorry,
he's
I have to do
Trogdoring the shit out of it.
Yes, he's Trogdoring. Let's burn down that thatch roof hut.
Trogdoring is also when, like, you're, like, kind of, you need to go to the bathroom real quick because you're about, like, it's, like, popping out your butt.
Yeah, turtlenecking.
You got Trogdoring.
Fuck, this,
Yeah, it's pretty gross. So Supergirl runs up and says, wait, how about these crystals? Why don't you take these crystals? Will that work instead of these stupid stones? And
he takes all of them.
He takes the whole thing, and
They're
very
like, why
happy
did you do that? This we could have just gave him a little bit every month.
The lizard gives him a bag of stupid stones. Fine.
He's like, keep your dumbass stones. I'll take these,
care.
but this isn't your hut, so he just keeps burning it down.
So the civilian says, oh, well, how did you get the crystals? And Supergirl human-splains science to the aliens.
Yeah, well, they are kind of dullards. All they do is suck on tree dick all day.
Well, they don't understand Earth science. It's Earth science, okay? You know, Earth, greatest planet there ever was, the Bret Hart of planets, Earth.
Who's on Earth? The home of Bret Hart.
Yes. The home of Bret Hart. It's the perfect place for him to be. You don't know shit about science.
That's what they put on the Voyager satellite, the Voyager spacecraft with the record that has like all human.
Oh,
life.
yeah, the Sagan record, yeah.
It's just like the wrestling theme of Bret Hart and images of Bret Hart holding the belt.
Well, what's his walkout music? What's that? What does Bret Hart come out to?
I don't remember.
It
wasn't like Sexy Boy.
Didn't he start when he was like 35 or something like that? We do have Sexy Boy.
Yeah, that's Sexy Boy.
Bret
Hart? No, he wrestled since he was like 12.
Somebody you were telling me before, he started at like 35.
Diamond Dallas Page.
There you go.
He was like 40.
Yeah, good for him.
Dude.
Because as we all know, great things start happening when you turn 40.
I mean, he became a pro wrestler. He wrestled for like another 20 years and then figured out a way of using yoga to cure his broken neck.
I think I'm gonna get really weird and become like a Diamond Dallas Page disciple now because he's the only person who actually hit his stride at 40 instead of just going downhill.
So did Stan Lee.
Was he 40?
Yeah, he was in his 40s when his career at Marvel started to take off.
Yeah, I guess that probably does work out, doesn't it? Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, great things happen in your 40s. Most people would agree 40s is really when things start popping off.
That's when you can run for president.
Well, 35, you can be president.
Yeah, but ain't no one taking you seriously at 35.
Until that Prez law comes in and you could be 17 or whatever the fuck it is.
I would have been a great 17-year-old president.
Yeah, for 17 years.
Yeah, yep. And for all the decades I was president, there would never be war.
Yep, you get to serve as long as your age when you were elected. That's why Joe Biden wanted to be president.
Yeah.
Weird rules.
Joe Biden's America. He's been in government our entire lives.
Mm-hmm.
This is his country. The country that Joe Biden built.
Wasn't he the youngest senator? Maybe up
that.
until recently, if not still.
Well, not now.
Well,
Now he's
like
the oldest.
elected. Yeah.
Well, he's still one of the younger ones.
Well, elected, quote unquote.
he's still not Pelosi level up there.
Oh, they're kicking her out.
Yeah, it's time. Why not now? Why now? Why not 20 years ago?
Yeah, get out of there, you fucking landlord. Fuck you.
We're gonna burn down your hut, Pelosi.
That's what
with
she
our
was
laser
doing
eyes.
during the pandemic. She was going around to people's homes and burning them
Eye
down with her
lasering
laser
people.
eyes.
Oh, well, I think I know what the video is for this week's episode. Make sure you subscribe to Dark Side's Couch on YouTube to see all that fun content. All right. So, in appreciation for Supergirl bailing him out for this month, I don't know what they're going to do next month.
Yeah.
It says, all right, well, I'll make you a map of how you can get to that radiant mineral site that you need to get to, but there's all kinds of other shit you got to dodge on the way.
They're like, oh, and we wrote it in English for you because we know you're stupid.
I think it's kind of the other way around. This is a Dunning.
They learned English from reading her mind, and they're like, we wrote it for you because you don't understand shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then she's like, and they drew it in a way that's like a puzzle map on the diner.
It's a Denny's menu.
Yeah,
with pictures of everything. In case you don't know what this word means, I drew a picture over here.
They're like, oh, you got stuck. Turn around.
Well, it's funny because Supergirl refers to them as like a simple primitive planet. So, who's kidding who here?
She's like, on my planet, we have phones. Phones.
Oh, I miss my cell phone so much.
She broke
Well, on
it
this
when she
planet,
fell
they just
out
have
of-
trees that do everything.
Yeah,
They do.
yeah. Those trees never say no.
Yeah, they'll do anything you want.
Except for these trees over here that shoot spikes at you. They're so frigid.
If you got enough flat, round stones, you can get these trees to do anything.
On this planet, Supergirl, there are two kinds of trees. The one that want to get jacked off and those that don't.
Yes. And now we're going to meet the kind that don't. And boy, do they not. They look like inflatable arm wavy guys from the used car lot.
Yeah.
Except they've got spikes that they can shoot at people.
Yeah, and look at that. Look at how prudy their face is.
Yeah, they're so unhappy. They don't want anything to do with
Even though
this.
they're shaped like dicks.
Yeah,
They got little dicks on their heads.
I mean, humans are kind of shaped like dicks, and we're not very happy.
Nope.
Like, we got kind of the same rough shape, and it's still like, this sucks.
Yeah. Intelligent design.
So Supergirl's watching this. She goes, all right, well, here's what I can do. I'll take some of these provisions that I took. I've got my flat round stones, and I'm going to jerk off one of this tree to get some sticky nectar.
Yep.
I'm going to make a little bustier out of it.
Yeah, because
right?
she's thinking back to the time she saw Robert Pattinson's The Batman.
She had a great time.
She's like, if I can be like that movie, I can wear like chest armor and just stand there and hope no one shoots me in the face.
Yeah, and you know what? It's great. It's a great idea from a great film.
And she's like getting shot in the chest and it's like bouncing off her. She goes, it's just like the fucking movie.
Just like that great movie that everyone on this show enjoyed.
And look at how like the tree people are like surprised it doesn't work.
The tree, yeah, it bounced off her. And she even makes a point of mentioning, it's a good thing they're not aiming at my head. Like, why didn't you make a mask as well?
Yeah. Why didn't you?
What is with the
She
super
didn't have enough stones, probably.
By pulling off this plan, she shows she's got lots of stones.
Fair. What is with these super people and their aversion to masks?
I don't know.
They're
Batman
anti-maskers.
should really cover his whole face. He really should.
Yeah, Batman's, I don't know what to make of him. So we've established that the super people are anti-maskers, flat out. They will not wear the masks.
They won't.
Bane is a pro-masker. He wears the mask. He wears it properly. Batman, on the other hand, does he just not get the concept? He's done an inverted mask where he covers everything but the mouth and nose.
Right, he's like one of those anti-maskers during the pandemic where they like did they just to mock it.
They'll wear the mask, but it's like a knitted, so it's just got big holes in it or something like that.
You see the one where like the bands like at college football games they wore masks but they cut holes so they could blow into their instruments.
Wow, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Defeating the purpose. So next, Supergirl encounters the ant people. Mm-hmm. And I guess they for funsies, they pull logs. They're like humanoid ants, and they pull giant logs with their babies and wives and stuff on them.
Yep, and you see it and you think to yourself, maybe that's what they did when they made the pyramids. They just did this.
Yeah, this is the true story of the pyramids.
Sometimes you just like pull shit.
Shit, it was aliens.
Yeah, it was these
ants.
aliens. Alien ant people.
Like, wait, like,
Oh my
going
God,
over-
it's an alien ant farm.
It is an alien ant farm. If YouTube will let me, you're hearing a little something right now.
Dude, the three of us, like, we're all trying to get that out, dude.
Yeah.
It all, came at once. We Three Stooges did. We got all stuck in the hallway at the same time.
They're like, I know that reference.
Yeah.
What's their song? Besides that Michael Jackson.
Movies and that
Movies.
cover of Smooth, bring it around to Michael Jackson. The greatest, most innocent man of all time.
Dude, he was too freakish to not. He was like an old timey like monster.
I know he's freakish. I'm not denying he's a weirdo. I'm not saying he acted appropriately. I'm just saying he didn't specifically diddle, I don't think.
Like, well, his situation with his kids is super bizarre too.
That is super
they're-
bizarre.
Like, he's clearly not genetically related to those children.
He's got some issues. Things aren't
What the
going
fuck?
great.
Yeah, he looks like a horror movie monster.
He is a terrifying.
He looks like he's gonna be found in the basement of Barbarian.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad about all that. All right. So Supergirl decides to hitch a ride on one of these logs, and they pull her. No
they don't
problem.
mind at all. They're just like, hell yeah, lady, jump on up.
No, we're just here for a good time. We're just having a good old tractor pull.
And while she's there, she climbs on the edge of one of the branches of the log she's being pulled on, and she saves a falling baby.
But what she doesn't realize is they were trying to kill that baby, and she's infuriated the entire tribe now.
What if she like scoops it up, and the aunt's like, my baby? She scoops it up, and she takes a bite out of it. She's like, oh, delicious.
Yeah. Well, it's their culture. You can't judge them.
Like, she's just like, Krypton, we just eat these things. And they're like, that's my baby.
So they're grateful for getting their stupid baby back, and they're like, yeah, if you need something, give us a call. And maybe that's going to come back into play in just a few moments.
Like, she says, a Batwoman couldn't have done it better. And then when she gets back to Earth, she calls her and lets her know just to be catty.
Oh, Batgirl, turns out that you're not so special after all.
Like, I can totally do your job.
So the next obstacle is giant acorns, massive acorns that fall off these trees if you make any sort of sound or vibration near them.
And they're full of gas?
They're full of poisonous gas, so you got to be careful. You can't be burrowing into those.
Can you imagine? Because like they knew about it, so that means someone back in the day tried to crack that sucker open.
Yeah, they found out the hard way. Maybe that's how they got transformed into ant people.
Yep, and then it happened so long ago though, and when they start saying it, they're like, "That's an old wives' tale. We don't know." And then so like every few generations, someone cracks that sucker open because he doesn't believe it.
Yep. And then that non-doctor with the satchel comes in and explains the health myth.
Hold on now, kids. Some of you may believe that there are no poisonous gases within this giant acorn, but I'm here to tell you that there are.
Stop drilling into acorns. Then he leaves. Like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
So Supergirl has to crawl on her hands and knees, and it works. Yeah, she does. And then, so she finally sees, I guess, where the entrance to the underground realm of the evil-eyed lizard peoples.
Mm-hmm. The landlords.
The landlords. And so the landlords kill a random horse creature because they think it might have been Supergirl.
So is that what it looked like, or is that what it looks like with all of its skin burned off?
I
was
don't know.
asking the same question.
That's monstrous.
It's really out of nowhere. These guys are on such a hair trigger that they'll kill anything that they just don't recognize immediately.
I mean, that is what they've shown earlier when they just kept burning down homes.
Yeah, I'm surprised they've been able to build such an empire for themselves.
Yeah, clearly they have problems.
Yeah.
What if it's just that one guy? The rest of them are chill.
I mean, it's hard to tell the difference because they all look the same.
Yeah.
So Supergirl just sashays up,
Racist?
says, yeah, against these guys? Yeah, fuck these guys. These
true.
alien lizard furry monster guys?
So, yeah, the Illuminati's listening. They're not happy that we just said all lizards look alike.
They were a fan. Yeah.
If the queen was still alive, she'd be so upset.
So, Supergirl just sashays up, and they try to eye laser her, and it doesn't work because she's wearing the translucent window pane thing that the people were using in their huts.
Yeah, she's been walking around with pretty much a plastic bag over her body, and no one noticed.
Yep, nobody noticed, and it was fine, but she's bragging about it. She's feeling like she's hot shit, and then one of the underground landlords just reaches up through the soil, grabs her ankles, and pulls her down.
Yeah. All I learned in this right here is that it is, in fact, awesome to put plastic bags over your head.
Yeah, sure. Suck them in.
Pull them tight so people
It's
don't
fun.
realize.
Yeah, it seems like it's a lot of fun.
Put a lot of rubber bands on your limbs so that it really keeps it tight to you so it doesn't go sliding around.
She
Yeah.
like jumps off the cliff, and one panel she doesn't, but it looks like she's just giving him a double flip off.
Yeah, give him a double deuce. Yeah.
It just be like, fuck you, ha.
And it turns out that she's still holding the bag when she uses a parachute, and that's why it's like she's gliding.
Yep. And
So-
before she undoes it to be a glider, inside it is some paint, and she just huffs it real quick.
She just needs a little boost, just a little help.
And she's like, woohoo!
So as she's descending, one of the landlords eye lasers the cliff, so this big chunk of cliff is falling down. But what they don't realize is on the ground, Supergirl has asked the ant people to create a catapult with a giant acorn on it.
Yep.
Right?
And when the ground from the cliff falls down on it, it propels the acorn up and goes directly into the hole in which the lizards are coming out of.
Yep, and they can't burn their way through because they'll release the poisonous gas and kill themselves.
But they could easily just make another hole.
No, apparently they can't. This is the one hole.
That's the one they can do.
It's the one they can get out of. And
Right.
also they haven't accounted for whatever ones of them were already out. Like some of them were already out of the hole, so they're still wandering around. Mm-hmm. And could
What they should do
presumably
is the ant people should grab another acorn and put it on top of it and just pound it in. And
Drive
before
it
they
in.
do, though, they poke a hole in the bottom acorn before it goes
Oh,
in.
yeah.
And then close it up with another acorn
Wow, that's not a bad idea.
and gas the shit out of them.
Yeah, you got to get rid of them like termites or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta
fuck these guys. They're landlords.
It's a bug bomb. Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi's in there choking.
So this all works out. Supergirl gets her element, her radioactive element that she needs, and she puts it in her ship, and she gets the hell out of here.
Yeah, but she doesn't have her superpowers, so the radiation from the rock kills her.
No. That's not what happens. She's able to fly back into the orbit of the yellow sun. She gets her powers back. She's having a great time. She decides to take a look back at the planet and see how they're memorializing her.
Right? And they build her a big-ass statue.
They built a giant
lizard
statue.
guy came out and burned it with his eye lasers.
Yeah, because they didn't get rid of all of them. There were still hundreds of them roaming free.
And then burned them, the people enjoying the statue. And then find out where their homes were because they looked at their IDs and they burned down that home.
Yep. And then they made their way to Earth.
Yep, where they started buying property and then burning it down.
All Supergirl did was antagonize these people and make it worse.
Right. But then they clash with the lizards already owning all the property here.
It's a lizard on lizard war, and we're just caught in the crossfire.
All right. First they're like, this is our land already, but then they see that the new lizards have eye lasers, and they're like, oh shit.
It's also it's interesting that the eye laser lizards they're landlords, but they live underground.
They live underground.
They just live in a commune. They don't even want to own their own homes.
They just show up and burn down people's homes and ask for rocks.
What are they doing with those rocks? What are they
this
buying?
What is this, a red rock? Shit.
Yeah, so Supergirl sees that back on the planet Lumel, they think Supergirl, they actually called her Supergirl because all of her feats made her look so super heroic that even though she didn't have powers, they still saw her as a Supergirl.
Yeah, she just Batmaned it.
Yep, she Batmaned it, and that's the end of the book.
Yep, the end.
What do we think of that? The second installment in Supermanuary.
I liked it, not as much as the previous one, but I liked this one because it was still very silly.
Shée?
Golden shower.
Yeah, that was my favorite part too.
That was pretty good. That did give it an extra
Supergirl,
bump.
Supergirl got cum peed on, and then they jammed it in her mouth.
Well, they tried their best, and it was still terrible. This really had me wishing I had been a bit more generous last week. Because by comparison, that was a quality comic book. This, 2 out of 5 hillbilly Supermans. There we go. Earth's greatest hero.
I like that.
Yeah, he's having a great time. All right. I think it's time to talk about what we're doing next week.
Yeah, let's. But we don't know, so it's more Superman for sure. So spin that wheel.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at the wheel. We've got a lot of great options. Probably more of the same, honestly. Realistically, probably just more of the same bullshit.
Yeah, what else did we pick that wasn't? It isn't more crazy Silver Age Superman books.
I had one 90s book, and I think I may have taken it off because it was a Superman Blue, Superman Red, and it's like, well, we kind of already did that.
No, I'd be fine with doing it again.
No, we'll see. Maybe I'll put it back. It's not the same Superman. This is Electric Superman Blue.
Yeah, I know what
Electric
you're
Superman
talking
Red.
about.
All right, well then let's just add that electric thing. I'll just put on the list.
There you go.
I'll have to check.
If history tells us anything, this will be the one that gets picked.
And it's going to come up, and then I got to remember what issue that was. I might have to pick the issue. I don't know. All right. Well, as always, we got to listen to some spinning music. Normally, the music is explicitly about spinning or wheels are turning, but this time, since there's so many good Superman-related songs to play, I've been picking ones from my personal library, my personal catalog of songs that I listen to, that I paid for with my Space Rocks. I bought these things. I had them in my catalog, and we're going to go continuing in reverse chronological order. This goes back to my indie hipster days, aka most of my life. Mike's going to hate this. Let's see what we got.
I don't hate nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, some Sufjan.
Man, that's Sufjan. That is...
Why would I hate this?
Because it's twee. That's Sufjan Stevens, The Man of Metropolis Steals Our Hearts from the...
that sounds cool.
Yeah, you made a concept
It's a great album.
Concept album about Illinois.
Come on, feel the Illinois.
I like music.
Wow, I'm surprised.
I like music.
I
think he
like
meant more
music.
that it wasn't like your normal metal.
Yeah.
I like. It has to be really terrible for me to be like, all right, this is cool.
All right. Well, I enjoyed it tremendously. I enjoyed that album. I've enjoyed many of his records. All right, I'm going to spin to it. Let's see what we got.
Spin to it.
Okay. We're sticking with Action Comics.
All right.
Didn't we just do... This was 377, wasn't it?
I have no
377. 337. Okay, so we got Action Comics 381, and I, off the top of my head, do not remember what that is, so let's go find out. All right, Control Tab, Action Comics. Let's just look up the cover. 381, is that what it is?
Yeah, I guess so.
Let's see if this is one of mine. This might be another one of mine. Let's see, it's a little later. This is from 1969, so we're still in the 60s. God damn it.
Thank God.
Another Kurt Swan cover, I believe.
Oh, this is
perfect. This is another
great.
one. I think I picked it. I was trying to find covers that Mike would enjoy.
Yeah, you succeeded.
So we've got Superman here, planting a flag with a Superman symbol on it.
With the jade pole he stole.
With the jade pole, it says Superman as the dictator of Earth. From this moment on, there is no more United Nations. My Superman banner will replace all their flags. I'm taking over the whole world.
Yeah, he's right to do it.
Oh, it says Superman and the Legion of Superheroes, so we'll get to see those guys as well. So
yeah, he has an army of thugs.
So that's what we're going to look at next week. It came out in October 1969.
Hey, Leo Dorfman.
Another Leo Dorfman joint.
My favorite Superman writer.
Oh, man. We have really... It's very close to becoming just a 60s Superman.
Supermanuary.
So good.
They're so good.
Yeah. There's a little quote at the DC Fandom Wiki. There's a little quote from this issue that says, "They'll be punished on their homeworld where the Superman Revenge Squad's penalty for failure of a mission is lifelong slavery." Good Lord.
Dude. Superman.
Yeah, the dictator of Earth.
Look at this guy. He's bulldozing all the slums.
All right. Well, that should be fun.
Yeah, we better have our rock rent for Superman.
He likes shiny stones.
He took away the wrong lesson.
Oh boy.
Yeah, right? Well, I mean, it's kind of the right lesson.
We are just kind of going down the timeline.
Oh wait, that was Supergirl, not Superman. He took away no lesson.
But she told him about it.
Yeah, she told him about it, and he took away the wrong lesson from her story.
He's like, I gotta take over the planet to stop lizards from taking over.
No, that's not what I meant, Kal-El.
They got eye lasers.
Take over the planet, huh, Supergirl? That's a great idea.
Right? Of course, he wouldn't know because he can use his X-ray vision to see through their skin suits.
Shée, you got some plugs to get us out of here?
Sure thing. Listen to our previous Superman episodes on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, PodPublic, Spotify, any other podcast app during Supermanuary and other times. And subscribe to us. Plus, you can listen on darksidescouch.com. And after looking up Tim Conway on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, look up Dark Side's Couch and subscribe.
Yeah. Yeah, you can watch on YouTube, and then you can watch a little highlights from Dwarf on Golf.
Or you could just listen to Darkseid's Couch talk about Tim Conway.
Or you can look up the infamous Tim Conway elephant sketch from Cara Burnett. That is what I recommend.
Oh, he shows his dick on TV?
I shouldn't have said infamous. It's famous.
Is it?
He shows his dick on TV, I think.
Has it aged well?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I look forward to that. Yeah. All right.
I believe I've made you watch it several times.
You know what? It sounds vaguely familiar, but I think you should make me watch it again, like right now after we're done here. I'll watch it again.
You should make him watch it like you're shoving a golden nectar tube into his mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, as we all know, that once you hit your 40s, your memory gets better and better and better. So I'm sure I'm going to start remembering it after this time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. Yeah, let's get out of here. Anybody got any final thoughts today?
Make sure to donate to James running in the marathon to raise money for autism research.
Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I'll put that link up there here and there. I'll put it on the screen. I'll put it somewhere. You can see a link. If you want the link, we'll find you the link. Don't worry about the link.
Don't you worry about that.
Don't you worry. We'll find that link. Shée?
Donate if you can and look up the elephant sketch from the Carbonette Show with Tim Conway.
Yeah. Ta-ta for now, Cushion Crusaders. We'll talk to you next week on the couch.
All right, quiet on the set.
Dorf on golf, take one.
Action.
For a quick jolt of comedy, get Tim Conway's new video, Dorf on Golf. As Dirk Dorf, athlete extraordinaire, Conway shows his form.
Tim, we can still see your legs.